Hi everyone, welcome to the World Cup, possibly for the final time this year. The final is about to end. We have one more game, but it is currently at 4-3 in favor of Norway, so we could still get a draw in this one and have to play the extra decider. But Norway has match and championship point today, and who is going to play it? Well, Derek, one of the best players for the USA, against Johannes, who has kind of saved Norway a few times in this tournament, playing different decks, stepping in for people who were busy. I think this is his fourth different deck in this tournament, at least. So we'll see if he can do it again. The game will start in a couple of minutes. It's already open. I don't think we need to go through the decks because we already kind of did that last night. So you can see that video for an analysis if you care. But just briefly, this is Fealty's winter-based deck with winter plots that has some counterplay to the Lanny jumping aggro with 2 copies of Last Heart Scout. So getting that in the opening would be really nice for them. They have a lot of search for Chads, of course, with the usual Stark stuff. They have dupes. They have Winterfell and Caitlyn to stop possibly Seal Blood and 1 turn of rationing. And of course 1 turn of barring, which is really nice. And then Frozen Solid can also go on Castamir, and then Castamir is stuck unless you get rid of it for Mad King's Command. So that's the counterplay they have. And the Norwegian deck, yeah, has First Snow and has Mad King's Command, so 2 turns where it can really try to do damage. Has the Harris, which also honestly Stark doesn't like that much, and 2 copies of City Besieged, which can presumably kneel Winterfell. Castamir and Trial by Combat can try to kill on the Intrigue challenge as well if Caitlyn is not there, so that's another thing, and Lannister's Honor. And then there are of course characters that specialize in military pressure, including 3 copies of Tiamat here. There's 1 Gregor, Jaime. We have also Cersei, who raises claim on the Intrigue challenge for Castamir and Trial by Combat. So lots of kill, and Halfman's Horde potentially to also assault Winterfell if it's there. And a bit of board presence to compete, right, with Tywin. He can compete if Stark is entrenched and you can't kill them off. You have to actually play the challenges phase game, although that's not a game that Lanny would like to play here. I think they would lose in that one. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. The criticism we had for this deck was a bit too much on the faction card nil, because if you want to trigger Sea of Blood, and usually you do to find the events, it will hurt you for Moon Brothers, can cheat that into play for free, and it will hurt you for Never Bet, which by the way also is nice with the Harris. Put in something to the bottom that you know is there, and you can grab on demand. So if it started, let's jump into it and we'll see how it goes, and I will join voice channel on Discord if anyone wants to commentate. Yeah, so match and championship point for Norway, but USA playing to stay in it, and then I think USA would have yeah, a really good shot in the Champions game if it goes 4-4, because they have a few players who have really done well in this tournament and a few decks that have barely lost. So I think I honestly don't think that Norway has one that just keeps winning everything. So well, I think right now it looks like Norway has this, honestly, or USA has this, I should say, because it's the 2 perfect cards. Caitlyn's gonna stop the Intrigue kill, and Last Card Scouts is gonna force Johannes to play on the board. So, I mean, you can play the Hound and paint the dogs just fine in marshalling, but you're not gonna play Hear Me Roar and you're not gonna play Never Bet, so that's started really well here for Stark, and you can't remove them forcefully with the Morgulis or anything like that. So they're here to stay unless they get killed off. Well, big military intimidate. Caitlyn play tribal comment on the intrigue. But Stark's still gonna bring other stuff. I mean, Stark can bring in 4 characters easily with that gold, so... Yeah, and has to play out the round in his head before he marches anything, basically. Yeah, the fact that aggro can happen on 2 separate challenges is really the strength of this Lanny deck. Have to be really careful, and here we go. Now if there's a treachery, there isn't. Just wait for barrel and scout as well. Duped Alicent, okay. Yeah. Not only can you not kill enough of them, they'll do military back with stealth after it's all done. We might be looking at one of those situations again, like last night, where you kind of have to play Mad King's Command and try again, because start didn't really work. Now, first snow is a thing, but it will get rid of the dupes, which is not that amazing if still 4+ characters are in play. Now, how badly does Derek want to stop the win by 5 on this challenge is the question. Okay, it's happening. Ooh, okay, keeps the Hound in play. And loses an event. This random discard is quite harsh, actually. So if you intimidate Caitlyn here, trial by combat can be played. It's not amazing pressure though. If claim was raised, it would be. Maybe we can try next round with City Besieged. Similar strategy. Intrigue claim's not too bad either, honestly, with 4 cards, although in a pinch, of course, Derek just triggers the old gate. He also has Lannister's honor. He has nothing, okay. Or he's not gonna play it. And Alison should be able to win the military if she starts Halfman's Horde. Good chance that there's a random burn man coming in to absorb claim. No. So the Hound dies, leaves it in a to Harry's friendly state, I guess. And first no friendly state, for what it's worth. If you can kill, for instance, let's assume first now is played and the two ladies are saved by the dupes. If you can then kill them, that leaves a dead Alison in hand, and I don't know what the card under Arya is, obviously. But it's not the worst thing, but I really don't know how much damage Lenny can do. What can be marshaled on first now. Could still play a Hear Me Roar and have a treachery at the right time for the kneel. One over reserve. Well, giving up on jumping, perhaps.
Could he not have played this to put a better claim soak in than Hound?
I don't know. I mean, what is better claim soak?
I don't know, whatever random, I don't know, Moon Brother or I don't know what kind of cards he has in the deck, but just a chat, we put in something that's not Hound that dies. It's not like super valuable, but I don't know.
I think he's gonna play now. First now. Has to try. Play City
I mean,
Besieged.
you could play the Harris rather than for Snow, because you can't keep. Like, if you want to keep. You have to lose either Caitlyn or Last Heart Scouts. And you lose one of the duped ones. And for Snow, I'm not sure. Maybe you do first Snow and then do Harris. But I don't know.
If he do Harris is here, yeah, the two ladies with dupes stay, and less hard scouts, I think, most likely. I mean, Caitlyn's also really valuable, but she does get intimidated. So I don't know. The Harris followed by first snow. Okay, Matkins
Oh, they have
command first.
Metkins command as well. Okay.
So one goes anyway now. Rationing.
I thought that they just have the Harris and first Snow. I think that's maybe what Martin played. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, Martin had one reset fewer. Which cost him, I guess, in matchups like this one. Just watch this getting frozen solid. But then you can get rid of it immediately at least, so it's not too bad. 3 gold left. That's enough for a burned man and a treachery on, or a jumping event and a treachery on escort scouts. And I think he might want to keep that trial by combat. If Stark has a dupe for Caitlyn here, it's not fun, although you might want to lose her anyway because of how the Harris works out. Just keep whatever's in play now. Something bigger coming. That's reasonably big, but it will get assaulted on the military. Mira and Shadows wouldn't be too bad. And obviously Frozen Solid. At this point there is no threat, by the way, of win by 5 on the Intrigue. This is a kind of a waste of cards now for Johannes. One thing he had was card advantage, and he's conceding that now in an attempt to actually put the pressure on.
How is he winning by 5? Maybe has a...
Theoretically he can, I mean, he has to have a treachery though.
I guess Moon Brothers can come in, right?
Moon Brothers on the Intrigue also can come in, yes.
But also first Huffman's would have to assault Winterfell, intimidate Caitlyn, which is not entirely...
Well, let's see what he keeps. So he might, I don't know, might keep both ladies because it's a good, both of the 3 costers. It's a good Harris and they're both duped. Yeah, Caitlyn goes. Now there's an opening. We know trial by combat was in hand before Matkins command resolves. And no Frozen Solid, 5 gold left, and yeah. Started really well with that last card scouts, but now, I mean, okay, he could have Robb Stark and Wyman Mandel in hand, it's just not a good chance to play them on Matkins command turn. But really could have used the Frozen Solid.
Draws.
What's the events? Okay, so there is a treachery window, it seems.
I mean, if there's treachery for Winterfell, that helps.
I don't know, I think treachery might be for Last Scouts.
Yeah, I guess depends. If you have Moon Brothers, you can do Moon Brothers, treachery on Winterfell, trial by combat, and Castamere, but it's honestly not brilliant because you don't have that much.
Okay, so Winterfell's gonna get nailed here. And then we see what the Intrigue Challenge brings.
It doesn't look like there's gonna be an Intrigue Challenge at the moment.
Well, we could have trial by combat Well, actually, I need 4 cards really to do any damage. Maybe Tribal Combat's not in hand anymore, just gonna do Castamir. Could be
I
still
mean, how are you gonna do any of them?
Hear Me Roar for something big and a Treachery for Lannister Scouts. I don't know.
Sure. But that's nothing, you know, because it's just the dupes go.
He can trigger the agenda if he doesn't need the faction card nil.
You can't because it's
Oh, that's
because of
that's not triggerable. Yeah, okay. Well, Tywin or Timett?
interesting.
Tywin.
Tywin.
So Treachery is gonna be played on Lannister Scouts. That was inevitable. And if the last card is Trial by Combat,
I mean, then that's the last card, you know.
but it will kill one, followed by another one.
Yeah, which means you're gonna have 2 characters still on the board. And no cards in hand, I mean.
Has to take the dupe, I think, now. Yeah. I think Allison has to go. If the duped character stays with Lannister Scouts in play, it's gonna get marched, but I think we'll have 2 kill effects here anyway. Yeah. Yeah. If he'd found Timett, if he'd played it earlier and had Timett instead,
But he could have done Timid.
could have killed with Timett. But that's 1 kill less, I think. Well, actually, if you then stand him. Tywin's getting discarded, so I wonder if he's also just gonna be claimed now.
Probably if there's military claim because you can't lose. Anything else? I think you should have done challenge with Halfman's Horde, another challenge with Halfman's Horde. So you only got 1 back and you claim Tywin. I think at least. Yeah. I think why not just do the challenge?
Well, you'd have to lose the Painted Dogs then.
To hand. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and replay it. I mean,
sure, but you have
it's
no cards
currently
in
in
hand,
play. I
so
mean, you can play City Besiege now and you have 2 characters in play.
I
Or
suppose so.
honestly, first snow, then Arya goes completely. Then it would be really difficult for that
Depends on
Lannister
what's
Scouts
hand.
to survive.
Honestly, I think, yeah, it would be not so bad if they didn't have 0 cards in hand. I think maybe playing first now, first and then going to Mad King would be better because you get rid of the dupes first.
Paul is right in the chat. Teammate's not triggerable because of rationing. He's a reaction to winning. Well, 8-1 card advantage, so Johannes has to finish the job here to kill Stark into not having a board anymore.
Yeah, I think first snow would be better, and then after first snow you do Mad King's command. But
Mad King's command's already been spent.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would do the other order in the other way.
Okay. Yeah, but there was so much gold left over. We could have in hand Rob and the Wyman or something, you know. We'll
Yeah,
know
but
very
you know,
soon.
still have it now. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you weren't gonna do any damage on first snow against something big also coming in, I think.
Yeah, no, you don't do damage on first snow. You just get rid of the dupes for ladies, and then you do Mad King, and then you do damage, right? That was the idea.
3 gold left. Now how much defense is there gonna be? I think plenty. I think game's gone for Lanny.
Yeah,
Does he come with a dupe? Of course he does. Stark never draws a character without a dupe.
whatever. One has Mira. Yeah, I think it's gone uh Lannister a little bit. I mean, Mira's gonna
Miracle.
be Ned, but she's gonna be Ned. She's gonna blank
The assault.
the Horde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Winterfell doesn't work, so for all
I
that's worth,
mean,
but you want to blank it in
it
the deck.
works in the sense that you're not even winning military unless you assault it. But what's the
And intrigue. You can do intrigue and trigger Lannister's honor if you have it as a last card. It's not great, but it's something.
you still just do military? Okay, you do that intrigue plan. Let's see.
What's the delay?
I don't know. Winterfell window.
Okay.
It's not the worst hit.
The Blazing card, but the window for Lannister's honor is gone.
I mean, Mira's going anyway, I think, for the Harris next round. If there is a next round. Probably if he does military, Rob will defend, so only one challenge will be done back and it probably won't be power at this point, so may as well, I think.
I mean, honestly, if he does challenge, I don't know, maybe just leave it on a post because it's not that dangerous. And then you do two back on a post or at best a post, so
Game's going so well, I wouldn't concede a Sea of Blood trigger for no reason here. Just defend with Rob and do military back, I think.
Maybe.
Could do
You could
power back.
oppose with last hard scouts, kill Mira and stand them because Mira's gonna go anyway. Although there might be treachery, that's true.
Yeah, but then it's you want to keep 3 characters, I think. The question is
What if
only,
it's
can he
meant
actually
anyway?
win the game if he leaves it and nothing dangerous happens? And then it's unopposed power with renown, unopposed military. I think it's one short.
I mean, it's not if it's gonna be that close, he can stand with painted dogs.
Yeah, just defend. That's one of the options. Renown on defense. Can get to 13 if he does power. Or he can do military, which I think is a decent investment here. Either way works, I think, but just not getting the board reduced is the one thing that's kind of indecisive here, and doing military, I think, continues that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There's no particular threat on this one. Just leave it and do the challenge back. Yeah.
Did he forgot that he doesn't have intimidate?
No, I don't think so. He's well aware that this has ruined his plans. Without Mira, there was actually a decent chance again, right? To play that. You do that assault and then they all have to defend, otherwise you just win with intimidate. It's gonna sack
I
them
feel
Moon
like
Brothers a bit late, but could have done that also without losing painted dogs from the board, but now he only has econ with nothing to pay, so may as well. And result wise, it's not a complete disaster. It's only 11 here for Derek. And now do Harris and hope for good top decking, I guess. Let's see, a barring now played. I forget what the other plots are here for Derek. Is there a
there's another Winter Festival,
second
so I
Winter
would just
Festival? So that's getting played for sure, I think. I mean, he could play barring, but Lasker Scout's still in play, so I think Winter Festival.
Garden is a bit awkward because if he doesn't have the Harris, then Mira gets stuck for no reason.
He is gonna play the Harris. He can't push military through with City Besieged when Mira also goes to Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. My pre-round predictions for this one were not the best. I think I'm only gonna be on something like 4 out of 8, maybe 5. I don't remember exactly what I said for the games, but I know it's not going so well.
Yeah, I think when Mad King was played, there's too much resources that were gone.
Remember when we played in the Seven Kingdoms Lannister and we had a clansman deck, and whenever we faced Stark and also we faced honestly one Night's Watch opponent who had Lannister Scout somehow in 2 of their decks, that was so tough to play against. Couldn't win one game against those almost. This really is a hard counter to Lanny jumpers. 2 in the deck. It was there on setup.
I mean, but the problem is if you don't have a good, like, he had two duped characters to go through first snow and Mad King. If you don't have that, it's really awkward. You know?
Yeah, but he's always gonna have that. I mean, it is
Yeah,
Stark.
okay.
He does have Arya that self dupes and Bera and Scout that finds dupe for more
Yeah,
months.
but I think, for example, if you first go for first snow, then some dupes are gone, then, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'll click that concede button. Even military here, I mean, to try to find an event, like never bet. That non-faction card is net anyway. It's just no way. And passing doesn't work either. If you pass, then Winter Festivals 2 and Rob with Renown is the other two. Boom. Okay. How about defending fully?
Yeah, that's bad that you have. The thing is, you want to do some intimidate and stuff, but it's not that good even. I mean, the problem with defending fully is you spend your icons, right? Your power icons, and you can get power challenge.
Oh, come on. Just leaving Arya there with her stealth is enough.
She's gonna get intimidated.
By what if Lasker Scouts defends with Rob and Shiver?
Or by Halfman's Horde, right?
Oh, stand Halfman's Horde, do another power challenge. Oof.
Though you do lose the unopposed
I mean, you have
intelligence.
3 characters standing still after this military is done, having successfully defended it. It's not possible for Lanny to do anything. Alternatively, honestly, you can leave it unopposed and it makes 0 difference.
Yep.
Well,
I think that's a good call.
that's the weirdest defense I've ever seen.
No, it's you block all the intimidate, you will claim Shibar and stand your whole board. I think that's a really good choice.
Okay, it's one of the choices. It works as well as any of the other choices
So,
we talked about,
that's
so
cool.
yeah, okay. Fine. Could have just won though.
Eh, why? Just let him do a successful power and shit. Doesn't seem worth it at all. So you can defend this one now.
Defend with Rob and lesser scouts and it's over. You can do that and then pass. And it's over.
Or you can do all 3 challenges unopposed.
No. I think have a little lesson to Johannes about how to win quickly in this situation. Well, he's not gonna give it a chance to happen. Yeah. That was
So there's a Champions match coming?
to be expected, kind of. I thought Lenny can aggro this Stark deck, but then seeing the list and the winter stuff, the lesser scouts, it was obvious that it was gonna be slightly difficult. And Stark is notoriously difficult to aggro. It's just they they're so resilient. It's still, I think, has a time for wolves right in the deck as well if needed. So yeah. Not won any test games. Well, I asked Zini last night how many they won. He said it was 1-1 in 4 games. So I don't know how that works out, but that's how it went
Yeah,
currently.
I believe Derek though, because I think Martin plays this similar deck, and I played against him in Champions of Westeros, and I tested specifically Stark Fealty against this deck, and there was still such a good chance that even with last hard scouts in play, you will get the random Lannister's honor into Castamere trigger, and you would just lose. So yeah.
Though Harris surprised him, even though I said it was for sure gonna be played okay. And that he was gonna play Winter Festival into it, and he did. So yeah. It was gone at that point. There was absolutely zero chance for Lannister. I think if Johannes didn't play Matkins Command and had more of the hand, but he says anyway that he didn't have anything in hand, so I guess he had to try something. It worked for Free Folk last night.
No key characters. I mean, yeah.
So 4-4 it is. I assume we're not playing the Champions game tonight, are we?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, no, the teams have to talk. And if Chris is gonna play, he is notoriously busy and he can play only on certain days and certain times and stuff like that. So, and yeah, the Americans will for sure want to do a bit of strategy talk, right? So fitting finale like we had last year. It was also 4-4 in the final.
The draws are crazy with this type of decks, but I think I like when there's Champions Challenge. I don't like though in 8 regions where you just have a draw. And in the Swiss stage of this tournament as well, you just have a draw. That sucks.
In this tournament, yes, because draws are worth 2 points and the win is worth 5 points, and makes absolutely no sense. And we were undefeated in the group stage, and we were still really almost went out because teams were beating each other and they were ahead of us on points, even though we were doing really well. But our draws didn't count for that much, so I dislike that. But in 8 regions, it's completely fair because draw is half a win, and it's really exciting. I mean, if you have 8 games,
exciting because you draw. That's like the least exciting outcome of the match.
No, in any case, someone's 4-3 up, right, and it's still dramatic. Someone's trying to salvage the draw. It makes for a really good tournament. Last year was so tight, especially because of the draws, right? Everyone was drawing, and then we had in the final round so many combinations of results happening, and 5 teams legitimately could still theoretically win. It was,
as I said, I am still against the draws because that's like so disappointing. If you're already down and you're fighting for the draw, you're kind of happy that you got the draw, but it's still a draw. And then if you're like 4-3 and then you draw, it's just a disaster. If you lose, you lose. It's easier to just lose and then,
Your opinion is noted, but we are going to keep the draws if the numbers work out that way. In 8 regions, the main consideration is how many players we have, because we always want to have teams where it's kind of 2 reserves and all the others play. So if that works out for 8 games, it's draws possible. If it's 9 games, then it's gonna be 5-4 at the minimum. So we'll see how many we get.
9 games would be ideal, I think.
Well, then get some more people to register. So it's 4-4. Someone's gonna win this World Cup for the first time in their history. Is it gonna be Norway or is it gonna be the USA?
Did
Right?
USA never won the World Cup before?
No.
Or, I don't know what was before World Cup? What was the
Um,
Battle of the Nations? What was it called?
yeah, no, no, of course not. That was post-COVID. But
Okay.
in the times before, I mean, they had a really good team. The players that are returning now are some of the best players that the USA has, but there's also about a dozen others that were really prominent, and I think there's always this element when players are coming back, they don't know exactly what's going on. They're a little bit rusty, but uh, kind of class doesn't really go away. You still have all the skills, and if they're genuinely gonna play more, I think going into next year, win or lose here, they could be one of the real favorites, and really tough to beat. But yeah, in the past, I mean, they had great teams, but so many other teams. I mean, Germany was crazy in the past, so they were kind of towards the end of the game when we had these online World Cups. They were the dominant team for a couple
I
of
mean, I feel
years.
like they could still make a dominant team if they decided to bring their A team.
Yeah, but they'd
No
have they'd
offense
have
to
to
the
bring
teammates that here, but
everyone.
you know, there was no Leonard, no, you know.
Yeah, some of the players that played for that Germany team are no longer active. Their best player was playing Targaryen for 2 years. I think won something like 19 out of 20 games. No longer playing, but yeah, if they actually brought um, all the best players, maybe even some of those who were playing for
No
Austria, then
Mhm.
they could be still one of the teams to beat. I mean, they were last year. As I said last year, there were five favorites: Germany, Catalonia, China, Austria, and France. This year, we kind of figured that maybe only Catalonia and China were, and partly Austria, were still at that level. But who knows what
Yeah,
next
I
year
thought
brings?
Alex's team was really good. I thought
Yeah, okay,
they
that's
did
fair
good.
enough. Yeah, the Liechtenstein. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
next year, assuming no weird teams like Liechtenstein, I think favorites would be if all the players played that we're expecting. USA could be up there with Catalonia and China, and then
Yeah, but you never know what kind of teams assemble, right?
yeah, we
Maybe
don't know
some
what
players
who
come
plays for
back.
France, who plays for Germany. We don't know if Norway is gonna have this weird winning everything uh, year again. So
He actually plays for France again. Oh,
and
Francis says that Greece is winning next year, so Francis, you're permanently now a Greece player.
Greece,
Greek
honestly,
player.
uh,
I mean, if they,
if everyone
sorry.
plays and they have Francis still for some reason that eludes me, they are really strong. But even Greece, I mean, has players. I heard there was one top Greek player maybe coming back to the game.
Hmm?
We'll see if that comes through. But when we had the team events at Stalek, I think it was just three-player teams or something on the final Sunday. It was kind of before my time of being there in person. Greece was actually the most successful team there. So Greece has some really good players. I don't know exactly who's gonna play though.
Blood says Francis.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's fine if people play for different countries because it's hard to get teams for every country with this small community. So yeah,
Yeah, probably not a good time to have that argument. Personally, I think it's stupid, but okay.
but I mean, is it not more fun to have more people involved?
Yeah, but then if the
At least
teams
you have
teams are
to
kind of
choose
fake, right? You have Catalonia trying their best with actual Catalonia, and then you have
Yeah,
a
but
team
other
of
people just don't have that big meta, and
yeah.
it's
Then
sad
they
that
shouldn't
you
win the
have
World
to.
Cup, right? And Catalonia should win, not just joining players together and forming a dream team and then winning.
Maybe USA is winning anyway because and they have like pretty much all USA team, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought that Haruspex was German, but yeah.
Don't know
I know
exactly.
he was in German, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me.
I think I go home now. So let us know
Okay.
when the champions match will be. I can't promise to stream anything, especially at short notice, but we can make it happen if. Actually, there's now no hurry. I mean, whether it's tomorrow or another day, I don't think anyone particularly cares at this point. So we'll see. Okay, let's leave it here. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.
Bye bye.